Hello, hello, Facebook Live for Tuesday, April, what's today, 11th? Yes, April 11th, 2017. Steve Sipress here. And look, what is going on? Like, where is the standard 1 day, 2 day, whatever the heck growth on my face? Like, yesterday I actually shaved for the first time in, I think, months. And I was looking in the mirror going, hey, look, that's my face. Haven't seen it in a while. I actually attended a in-person live event last night for the first time in a long time. People that know me know that I've hosted hundreds of events for small business owners myself, and I also was traveling like a maniac on the road to all kinds of events all over the world for years. And about 2, 3 years ago, I just decided to totally ramp down my travel. I also stopped doing my own monthly and quarterly and semi-annual events and weekly and all the stuff I was doing in person, and I just ramped it all down to take a break from it and see if it was, I keep, in the back of my mind, it's something I still think I'll get back into, but I'm not quite ready for it yet. It's really anyone who does it knows what a grind it is to travel for speaking or host your own events. It's the proverbial duck looks calm and floating on the top of the water and is paddling like crazy underneath. So all kinds of crazy stuff to do. But anyway, I did attend a live event last night, and I have a lesson to share, a fantastic, what I believe is a fantastic sales lesson from something that happened at the event last night. And then what the heck, the real world, as usual, just hijacks everything and goes crazy. And so I just have to talk about today what everybody seems to be talking about is this United Airlines absurd, ridiculous, stupid, whatever you want to call it, situation that where they, everyone knows they dragged some guy who had paid for a valid seat, but it was a full flight. And United then decided we got to put 4 of our own employees on the flight because they got to get to somewhere so they can get on another flight or whatever. And so we've got to get a few people off the flight. And nobody wanted to go, and they made their offers of, we'll give you this and vouchers and whatever, like anyone who travels listens, and they always do. Nobody responded, so they went to, I guess, Plan B, like, this is as if, where they randomly quote, or they used an algorithm to see who was the least likable guy on the plane or something, and this guy was some kind of a, convicted of drug dealing or sex offense or something or whatever, and maybe he bought his ticket last minute, he's not a United regular flyer. I mean, whatever their algorithm was, they decided this is the poor sap that's going to, be taken off the plane, and he refused to go, which is incredibly smart of him, by the way. That's one thing I just realized really nobody's talking about. But he just, said, I'm going to be a renegade here. I'm not going to follow your rules of like I have to get off the flight. And he's going to make a ton of money from it because he's going to get all kinds of damages from brutality of the guards, the police, from the airline, because everyone nowadays has a camera, so everything goes viral and goes online. He's got like public defamation. Now he's possibly going to have loss of patients because of this, and so he's going to have harm to his practice. He's going to sue for all that, and he's going to get a ton of money for doing one simple act, which is just saying, no, I'm not leaving, sitting in a seat and passively allowing himself to be dragged off, and his head slammed into something, he's bleeding or whatever. So smart move there. But here's the real thing I wanted to talk about is now another thing is here's the deal. Everyone's talking about this is terrible, what United should have done, what United should have done, what they could have done, whatever. And I personally, when I do fly, which is now rarely these days, I like to almost always put a buffer in my travel time. And I learned this lesson when I was living in Chicago for 15 years, in the time I was doing the most air travel in my life. And I learned the hard way many times. You got to book flight first thing in the morning, because when delays happen, they're usually going to happen later in the day. Usually the flight crews, and like in this case, the people that have to get to other destinations or whatever, are in those destinations and they're ready for the first flight. First flights usually, even if they're delayed a little, they go off. Hey, Michael. So thanks for being here. And I'm sure you've heard of this United crazy thing going on. All right. So, but I always put this buffer into my travel time. So I always, whenever, unless it's some kind of rare thing that I can't, I book for first thing in the morning, least likely flights to get canceled, even if they get delayed a little. I used to fly at the end of the day. Hey, event's over, and let's fly back right away. And then when the event's delayed, it's like in this case, where they said, hey, it's delayed, so we can't put you on a flight till 2 o'clock tomorrow. Now, first of all, that's also ridiculous. Why can't you do the same thing and like offer somebody something to get him on that early flight? Maybe that would have solved the problem. So this all comes with a big lesson I'm going to share, but I just wanted to share my personal view to the whole getting bumped off the full flight thing as I look forward to it. And still, whenever I travel, I like to sit up close to the gate counter just in case they're going to announce the flight, and I'm looking around and going, man, I hope this flight's full, and they hope they come up with some juicy offer because I got a buffer in my schedule here, and I can stay overnight usually even. I mean, especially overnight. I mean, come on now. If the flight was like 6, 8, 10 o'clock at night because it's getting delayed, whatever, and they say you'll be out of here 5 in the morning, like, give me a break. Like, it's not a big deal. It's staying overnight in a hotel. Like, and if they'll give me something useful, I ask for it. But usually they don't. They say we'll give you $100, or we'll give you a free flight, or we'll give you 200. In this case, they went up to, there you go, yeah. So he used to work United. I had a friend because I lived in Chicago, so I had plenty of friends that worked for United, and they were good employees, so they didn't say how bad it was, but they kind of did. And like United, everyone knows, don't they? For a long time, United is just terrible. I've said it a lot. I've said it on social media and on my blog and my magazine article. I've said it all over. But United's terrible. This is just really bad for them. And so I like to hear their offers. Like, give me an offer. What do you got? But in this case, now maybe Michael, you can tell me or somebody else, but there might be some internal rule that the highest you can go for an offer to get people to give up their seat is $800 or the equivalent. I just heard the word 800. Maybe it was the equivalent number of flights or something, but it's like they stopped there. Like, and then they went to nuclear option. We're going to the algorithm to not forcibly, until the guy resisted. We're going to, we're not going to give them the choice anymore. We're going to remove someone off the flight who paid for a ticket. I mean, really? You went from $800 to that's it, that's the highest we're going to offer, and now we're going to throw somebody off the flight. Like, you must be kidding me. So I've heard all kinds of things. Yeah, right. Of course. Let's go. Give me the offer. What do you got? You got dinner? You got this, that. So in this case, and I hear people saying it a lot, like, oh, they should have given them 1,000, give them 2,000, give them 3,000. I'm guessing that today, in the stock and the markets closed now, but I'm guessing they probably lost close to $1 billion in market cap for the company. So the CEO and the executives and all the people that own their stock and employees, right down to lower level employees that have their IRAs and their stock matching options or whatever, lost tons of money today. So obviously, so I didn't come on here to tell you that obviously they should have offered more than $800. That's obvious. Yeah, of course. They give you the free ticket. They give you this. I mean, come on now. So here's the bottom line. Here's what I wanted to share. I don't hear anybody talking about this. And I think it's because nobody thinks about it. But I certainly do. I created something called the WOW strategy. So people know me. My next book coming out is called the WOW strategy, and it's based on marketing for any business. All comes down to only 3 things. You get these 3 things right, and your marketing works, and your revenue and your profits go up, and they go through the roof. And when you put them into systems like game over, you have the business of your dreams. And unlike all the shovel salesman, shiny object selling gurus out there who know that the way the game is played when you're selling advice and business building information is to make it as complex as possible. Okay, just like this guy refusing to get off the plane, being a renegade, I also am a renegade from lots of friends and colleagues I have doing that I go the other way and I'll simplify everything. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And that's the WOW strategy. Because I'm thinking about my client, my prospect, what's best for them. And what's best for them is not that I overcomplicate everything so they have to buy my next book and then another book and then another course and then come to another conference and then study another thing and another and another, and it never ends. If you are in that world at all, small business owner, and you go to conferences or you look to get advice, or they're always going to, that's the way it works. They're always going to say, oh, this is my next conference. You're going to learn all the secrets you need now. And this next speaker is going to teach you all the newest things you got to do. And I ran those kind of events for years. I was an independent business advisor for a small business information marketing company that was the game they played, to overcomplicate it unbelievably so that nobody could ever stop buying their stuff. You always had to buy the newest thing. You always had to go to the next conference. That was going to be the greatest. You always had to hear the next speaker. He had the answer. Like, look, here's the deal. You simplify it all. It's called the WOW strategy. 3 letters. There, 3 letters. W-O-W, and that's it. It's all you got to think of. First W stands for the who, which means who ideally you want to do business with you. Who's your ideal? We all have the customers that we, and the clients and the members and the patients, whatever business you're in. We all have the customers and the clients that give us money, that do business with us. And then we have the ones that we would love to do business with. That's your who, your ideal target who. Allow yourself, I asked that question, who's your ideal client? And you got to get beyond the knee-jerk answer I get from thousands of business owners, and I helped, and over 95% of them start telling me about the ones they currently get. And that's not the question. The question was, who's your ideal client? So I'll say, who's your ideal client? I'm all excited because I can help you get them and have the life and the business you dream of, just working with ideal clients who pay you all the big money, they don't cause problems, they refer a lot, they stay a long time, all the great things. Who is that? And then the knee-jerk response is usually, well, I usually get that was not the question. See, people can't even get into the first letter of the WOW strategy, the ideal who, because you're so stuck in who's your current who. So the first thing is the who. You're always thinking about the who, and the who is not you, and it's not your employees. So mistake number 1 by United, they're thinking, ooh, what's best for us? What's best for us is that we get these 4 employees to whatever city they got to go to, because that will not back up the other flights and the whatever and make us look bad or get our on-time record dinged and, cause all problems, whatever. So we got to get these, the 4 most important people they had to get on that plane were their own employees. Mistake number 1, huge, whopping, stupid thing to do. Okay, so how about we charter them a jet? We're United, for crying out loud. We don't have any other flights going there. We charter them a jet. We put them in a limo. I mean, how long to drive to wherever they were going? Or do we have any other employees that could possibly do whatever these 4 employees were so badly needed in that city to do? Is there anyone closer that we could limo there? Or could put on another flight? Or come on now, if you just thought about the problem from the perspective of the WOW strategy, you would not have come up with the solution of let's kick some paying passenger off the flight. You would have said, what's best for my passengers? And I know you could be thinking, well, what's best for the passengers in that other city is that these 4 employees get there, right? And so that's not what you're thinking. Oh, something just popped up my computer. I'm sorry about that. Let me pop back. There I am. Sorry about that. Oh, you probably saw me looking around something. I had something. I have a client call with my clients in half an hour. So half an hour thing popped up. Talk to you then, clients. For now, let me finish here. So number 1 is the who. You're always thinking about them. Great, Michael. You're always thinking about who, which is not yourself. And and I'll post videos about this, and I teach about this, and I have courses on this, and you can PM me if you want some help on this. But I go into a lot of detail in my teaching about the who, and it's the WOW strategy. I could have said the first W stands for who you are. Could have said that, but there is no Y in WOW. There's no you. So it's not about your on-time record if you're United, and your other city, and your logistics, and your employees, and it's not anything about that. And it's also not about your $800 or your rules. I mean, and it's another thing. If the gate counter, the person at the counter knew the rule was 800 and would have said 800 and still nobody, I am certainly not going to allow this to go to the nuclear option of the algorithm and kick some paying passenger off the flight. That's really stupid. I'll make it 1,800. I'll take $1,000 check out of my own pocket. And then I'll fight with United to reimburse me later, the louses, because I'll explain to them you would have lost $1 billion in market cap, a huge lawsuit from this guy, tons of future business from people like me and others that will now already avoided United at all costs, and now will just absolutely not fly in them. My beautiful wife, Michelle, when I first met my beautiful wife over almost 20 years ago now, she had a United membership special card and whatever, and we went to the United lounges, and we were whatever. We canceled that card a little while. But we're like, no, I don't care. All the perks they give us and all the free mile and this and the what, and who, what. No more United. They suck. We're out of United. So that's going to happen even more now. But anyway, so the first W is the who. But here's the real big one. Well, the last W is the way. Okay, but the real big one in this case is the one in the middle, the O. And the O stands for the irresistible offer. Notice, it's the irresistible offer. It's not just the offer, which is $800 to get off the plane. That was an offer. Was it irresistible? Obviously, by definition, it was not, because every single person on that plane resisted it and said, that sucks. I am not, that doesn't get me even interested. I am not excited by that. So they're just not thinking straight. And small business owners are not either. So I'm sorry, if you own a small business, you, unless you're my client, are likely making the exact same mistake. You're not waking up every day and thinking, how can you craft a new irresistible offer that you can put out to prospects, to your ideal prospects, to your current customers, clients, patients, and irresistible offers. Okay, yesterday I did a video on, I called it Direct Mail Monday, and I did it on mail that I get, and so I know I tossed it in the garbage here, and I don't think it went out yet. So here is some junk that I threw out from yesterday's video, and these are what's known as resistible offers. Crappy, typical offers you'll see. Okay, so this is, I don't know, this is filled with all kinds of stuff here that's resistible. We got Cox Cable, ask about a free HD camera. If you get Cox Cable, which probably means, you know, you have a, see the important details on the other side. So you probably have a 2-year contract and a whatever. And the free HD camera, like, what's that, $7 on eBay? $7 to give you at least $30 a month for 2 years? So that's what, $700 and something minimum. I get a $7 camera. A 1% bonus. Fairly resistible. So resistible I didn't even look at it before I threw it out. Okay, and on and on and on. So this thing is just filled with it. Wow, this thing is normally $84.99, and look at this, unbelievable, it's $74.99. That's just, how, is that irresistible? It's for a rapid pump 3-ton heavy-duty steel floor jack. So it's normally $84.99, now it's $74.99. You just got to be kidding me. Like, if I'm going to buy something like that, do I need a rapid pump 3-ton heavy-duty steel floor jack? And if I don't, if I need one, I don't care the price. I need one. I got to buy it. I got something I got to jack up, so I need the price. I need the thing. If I don't need it, is whatever that was, $10 off, $12, something, going to make me go out and say, oh, honey, crap, man, what time do they close? I got to run out to whatever store that was and grab that 3-ton thing, what jack, because I'm going to save $12. Get this, $12. Woo! Man, we can, like, you know, buy lunch at McDonald's for the two of us. I mean, are you kidding me? So business owners, you're just not thinking about making your offer irresistible. $800 to get off a flight and have to wait till 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. So bonuses is one way. This is not a video all about how to do the irresistible offer. I teach that. Let me know. PM me. I'll give you some help on it. But I teach in my courses and my conferences, and when I do my seminars, and of course on my clients, I help them do it, and it explodes the business. And in this case, it would have saved United over $1 billion in market cap loss and a big expensive lawsuit and lots of future business and all this PR mess if they were thinking not how cheaply can I get people off this flight. That's how business owners think. That's how you're all thinking. I used to do it. I used to think, how cheaply can I get it done? I'll tell you what, speaking of United, I have never once gotten on a flight and said, man, I hope they got a really cheap pilot. Hope they, you know, spent the least they possibly could on that pilot. Never thought that, not even close. I've always gotten on and said, man, I hope they paid the most money possible and have the best, whoever that guy is with the hat up in the front with all those ridiculous buttons and dials, man, I hope he's the best, highest paid guy there is. Okay, small business owners are not thinking that way, and United wasn't thinking that way in this case. There's something between we'll give you only $800, nobody moves, and we will throw people off the plane. And I don't even mean the physical, because that, it's apparently there must have been three other people that were removed who just said, okay, we'll leave. So it didn't have, they didn't like, the rules didn't say we'll physically throw you off. But what I mean is we will remove you from a plane. We will get you off a flight that you paid for. $800 to nuclear option? You got to be kidding me. You couldn't have said 900, 1,000, 2,000. And so, I've seen people talking about, okay, free flights, steak dinners, hotel. How about, here's one way you craft irresistible offers. You can add in bonuses. So that's one way. So you add in bonuses, and when you look to add in bonuses, you look to add something that has a high perceived value to your who and a low cost to you. That's ideal. So a lot of that is time. That happens a lot. It can be time, can be information, can be expertise. I can say my clients happily pay me $1,200 an hour for my consulting. But I can say, if you do such and such, I'll give you a 1-hour consultation that's a value of $1,200. Now, that's a perceived value to them, and they really would pay $1,200, and people happily do all the time, $1,200 for it. And of course, they have a guarantee that in writing they make at least 3 times that much, and it's usually 20 or 50 times that much. So that's why people keep doing it. But if I throw that as a bonus, that has a high perceived value. I will likely help you find $50,000 on that call if you just buy my book or buy something for 20 bucks. I mean, that's pretty irresistible. I buy a $20 book. I get a $1,200 consultation that'll likely turn into $50,000. Okay, now we're starting to get irresistible. So irresistible offer bonuses. So what are some bonuses United could have offered that pretty much will cost them nothing? How about all these extra fees they tack on all the time? Anyone fly? Anyone book your flights yourself? You book the flight, oh, finally, hours, then you don't realize unless, you finally realize, I'm like, holy crap, what time is it? I just wasted hours to find a flight or save 12 bucks or do whatever. I get sucked into the whole game of the flight thing, and I harken back the days of traveling. So you made one call, said, I'm going here, and she just got you the tickets, and then whatever was done. I don't know if I saved $9, $12, lost $7, who cares? I made a phone call. Now you sit on the computer forever. But when you buy that ticket, hey, bought the ticket, I'm done. Really? Anyone do? You're not done. I haven't done it lately, but I'm sure you're not done now. Hey, would you like to pay for more legroom? Hey, would you like to pay $179 more for first class? Hey, would you like to prepay to be able to board earlier? Hey, would you like priority this? Would you like to double your miles for this much? Would you all kinds of upsells? Well, pretty much almost all of those cost them nothing. So how about offering that? They're not even thinking straight because they're not thinking about the wow strategy, and neither are you likely in your business. You want to start thinking about this. That, to me, is the biggest lesson to take from this. Think irresistible offer. What can I add to make this irresistible? And especially something that pretty much costs me very little and has a big perceived value. 1 hour of my time for a consultation call cost me that I didn't get to hang out with my beautiful wife, Michelle, or hang out by the pool, or watch a movie or do something else, or work on, something for my clients or something else that I'd like to do. But I didn't take the money out of my pocket to do it. And I certainly didn't take $50,000 out of my pocket. But the person who took advantage of that call with me often gets $50,000 or more worth of value out of it. So high perceived value, low cost. So what could have United said? Okay, we'll give you $800 and free checked bag on every flight you fly with United for lifetime. They could have started with for a year. Nobody budges. For 5 years. Nobody. For a lifetime. Cost them nothing. Cost them nothing, right? They put your bag on. That doesn't cost them anything. I mean, the guy's already, unless it's the only bag. Oh, they're still paying the guy by the hour. They're paying guys by the hour to handle your bags. And when it costs nothing, right? How about we will upgrade you to, whatever they call it, intermediate class, business class, the extra leg. We'll upgrade you there for a year on all your flights. That doesn't work for 5 years, for a lifetime. For 2, how about we'll upgrade you to first class. That's only opportunity cost of if they could have sold that seat for first class, because people do. And I don't fly, coach anymore when I do fly, but, people, when you get on a flight, usually the first class is booked first, and usually it's booked solid. I mean, yeah, that's filled with 10, 20 people on every flight who paid 3 times as much to get there about 10 seconds sooner than you. Right? They get off the plane, they're there 10 seconds sooner. But it's a lot more than that to it. And we can get into all that, and I have in videos and articles and teachings before. So you could upgrade to that, and you could even mealy mouth the thing and say, we will upgrade you on any flight to first class where there is a first class seat available, if it's not sold, because that's what they do. They look down a list and they see who is their best non-first class flyers, and they upgrade them if there's an empty first class seat. They could say, that's what we'll give to you. They could say, we will give you priority boarding for a lifetime on all United flights. And normally, you pay $49 a flight for that. But you will get priority boarding on every flight. You will get priority, whatever they give away. Double miles. We'll give you double miles on every United flight ever. Cost them nothing. I mean, folks, I know we can moan and bitch and complain about United all day long on social media, and you're going to see it, and everyone's talking about whatever. No one's looking in the mirror. I looked in the mirror and I said, holy crap, am I doing that? Now, of course, I'm not beating somebody up and dragging them out of my business, but I'm like, am I putting out an offer that nobody's taken up on? Look in the mirror. Are you? Are you doing that stuff? $10 off of whoever, $5 off this, and because you're thinking about yourself. Here's one. I say this a lot, so if you don't watch all my videos, you haven't heard it before, I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, because people just don't get it. Like, here's one good test of an irresistible offer. You get butterflies in your stomach. Before you press send on that email, or you send it to the printer to get printed out, or you put it up on your whatever, in this case, you announce it over the loudspeaker, hey, attention passengers, like, you get butterflies in your stomach. That's one good sign. That's an irresistible offer. Okay, so if you're putting out, yeah, you know what, I can afford to give them 10% off. Steve, that's what I hear a lot. Steve, you don't understand. We have costs involved in whatever and this and that. The most I can give them is such and such. Yeah, wrong. Wrong. I will, and like I said, you know, PM me. I'll help you out to find dozens of ways to give them all kinds of more stuff that basically cost you almost nothing, and make that offer more and more and more irresistible until it is in fact an irresistible offer, and then it fits into the WOW strategy. And if it's not irresistible, it's like 90-some% of the offers you see, because you don't take them up on it. It's resistible. So, and in this case, the guy physically resisted and had to be dragged away. That's how resistible it was. Small business owners, especially, I mean, big business owners too, but they're not watching this video and they don't really care. I mean, there's even something else in the news. The CEO doesn't even care. He's like, hey, employees, you were right. I got your back. Like, he doesn't even care. And obviously doesn't care about the whole deal. Like, you know, they don't get it. Small business owners, you got to be, you're much closer to, if you're not in the field yourself, doing sales and once in a while showing up on a job site even, and like getting involved in the business. Like, you're on the ground level. You're in the trenches. Like, you got to be thinking about this stuff. Irresistible offer. Not 10% off, 3%, $3 savings, a nickel on this. How about this is free? This is whatever. This is something. Acquire that customer, love them to death, shower them with all kinds of stuff, and they'll be so passionate and so loyal, and they'll love you so much, they'll buy other stuff, they'll tell everybody about you, not like United, they'll tell you about you in a positive way. It'll be a great thing that happens. Okay, so that's the WOW strategy. You're always thinking about your who, which United was not. They were thinking about themselves and their own employees and their own logistics and their own pocketbook. Oh, we can't give more than $800. That's the rule. The next is the irresistible offer. It's got to be irresistible. If no one takes you up on it, if United had a clue and understood the WOW strategy or even thought about it, they'd say, 800 didn't do it. 801, 802, 900, 1,000. I can do this all day, folks. There's 327 of you on this flight. And the first one that says yes to whatever number I say, I'm done. But I won't stop. So the only one that's going to stop me is you. So 801, 802, 803, 804, 810, 820, 830, 840, 850, 860. I predict it wouldn't have to go long. You can even go by 25s. 825, 850, 875, 900, 925, 950, 975, 1,000, 1,050, 1,100, 1,150. 1,200, 1,250, 1,300. Within about 10 seconds, somebody would have jumped up already, and the person next to him would have gone, damn, knew I shouldn't have waited till it hit 1,450. Should have taken it at 1,380 or whatever. You know, but it'll be gone. And then all problem solved. Irresistible. Make it irresistible. Somebody takes up on your offer. And the third letter in the WOW strategy, the only other thing you got to know, marketing a business, you got to get it right, is the way. Then you got to figure out the way or ways to get your irresistible offer in front of your ideal target who. That's it. So everyone knows there's all the ways. I'm on one right now. You could use a live video. You could use a Facebook post. You can use a Facebook ad. You can use a tweet. You can use an email. You can use a postcard. You can use a live phone call. You can use a live meeting. You can use a newsletter. You can use a blog. You can use a podcast. You can use a book. You can use a radio show. You can use an in-person visit. I mean, there's hundreds of ways, and there's new ones all the time. If you're a small business owner, you got people trying to sell you them all the time. Here's the newest website you got to have. Here's the newest app you got to have. Here's the newest text messaging thing you got to do. Like, there's always a new way popping up. The question isn't what way do you want to use, or what's the cheapest way, or what's the easiest way, all dumb questions. It's what way is best that my who wants to receive the message and will receive and respond. And that's it, folks. It's the who, the irresistible offer, and the way. And if you're having trouble in your marketing and it isn't bringing you a ton of leads from ideal clients and customers and patients that are paying you top dollar and staying with you a long time and coming back and buying more and referring like crazy, if your marketing isn't doing that, it's only because there's something wrong with either one or two or all three of those areas. That's it. That's all you got to get down. 3 areas. Easier said than done. Otherwise, I'd be out of a job. No one would need me. Okay? But not only does just about every small business owner need me, but I choose to only work with a very few. And so there are a lot of people out there that need a lot of help. I certainly did. I was stupid. My first multi-million-dollar business, I bankrupted it into nothing because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a board of directors. I wasn't part of a group of peers. I didn't have a guide. I didn't have a consultant. I didn't have anything. And I screwed the whole thing. I built it, so that's good. But then things came up and I didn't handle them right. Multi-million-dollar business gone down the drain, and I actually was even homeless for a short time. So, oops, all could have been solved by having the right advice. So I'm here. I help people. I will help you if you PM me. I'll do that, briefly one time. We could possibly talk if there's a possibility of working together in the long run. I can tell you right now that doesn't happen often. But when it does, at this point in my career, I can work when I want, with whom I want, from where I want. So if it's something exciting and somebody I want to work with, man, congratulations, I accept you as a client. Your life changes and you make tons of money. Because we don't just do it once, we do it over and over and over and over and over. But even without me, you got to be thinking the wow strategy, which includes the irresistible offer. That's a lesson to learn from United. They're not thinking at all how to make that offer irresistible. They sucked at it, in fact, incredibly sucked at it. That offer was so resistible that they ended up losing $1 billion in market cap and a huge lawsuit because of it. So, oops, big mistake. Business owners, don't make the same mistake. That's it for today. I post these videos live every day on Facebook. Thank you, Michael, for being with me here. Anybody else watching on the replay, I repost the content onto several pages here on Facebook. I post it onto YouTube. I put it on the rhinodaily.com blog, the Rhino Daily podcast, and they're available here to watch, and who knows what else I'll do with them in the future. But they all just scratch the surface. Even this one did, and hopefully I gave you a little good ideas. But I can go so much deeper, and especially if I know your particular situation. That's what I do. I've been doing it for 30, 40 years. I've helped my own businesses and other businesses to make a lot of money using the right effective strategies for small business owners. Regardless of what all the other gurus out there who are just, doing it the old-fashioned way of trying to overcomplicate it and sell you all kinds of more stuff. Not true. I simplify it. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it means it's simple. And we do get those 3 things down and your whole life changes. So if you want help with that, send me a PM, shoot me an email, steve@stevesipress.com, but I'll help you out. And I will tomorrow give you the big sales lesson that I have to share from the event that I attended last night. And by then, my typical 1 or 2 day growth will be back, and you won't be able to see my bare face anymore. So that's the way it is. Thanks for being with me today, and I'll see you again tomorrow.